In my last video, the one about Coke and education, I mentioned that I had gotten an MBA degree and I graduated with honors, and I also had an undergraduate degree and I graduated with honors there too. And then I thought about Melissa, how she questions her own intelligence. In the email that she wrote to me and I read in an earlier video, I think it's called Email from Melissa. It's a creative title. Anyhow, in that email, she was questioning her own intelligence, and I'm sure other people tell Melissa she's intelligent. I'm sure that she does well, what other people call well. She gets high grades in school, and she can learn and regurgitate and memorize what they want her to and get high grades in school. But that's not enough to convince Melissa that she's smart, because her parents don't give her the feeling that she's smart. Parents are both pharmacists, by the way. They are divorced and they move Melissa back and forth from one house to another one. And Melissa says that they gave her a Lincoln, a used Lincoln, but still a Lincoln, for her 16th birthday. And I somewhat believe Melissa. I don't think Melissa lies as much as some of the teenagers that I've talked to. But I'm still waiting for Melissa to show me pictures of her Lincoln, or show me videos of her and her Lincoln or something. But anyhow, let's take it as truth that she has a Lincoln. And also, by the way, I think not too long ago she said her mother kicked her out of the house and said, "Go sleep in your car." And I think Melissa did. But anyhow, what I wanted to really say was that Melissa, like me, has felt suicidal. I've never tried to kill myself, although Melissa has, and some teenagers have successfully killed themselves. And again, one of the reasons I'm making these videos and I'm writing is because I don't want young people to suffer as much as I have. I don't want them to have to experience even one divorce, let alone two. I don't want them to have to be alone, without children, without a wife or partner or girlfriend at age 50, or at any point really. So anyhow, so back to Melissa and me. There's one big difference between Melissa and I. I don't think I've ever questioned my intelligence. I've always known that I can learn. That's at least one thing that school convinced me, and I've convinced myself throughout the rest of my life, is that I can learn, and I can think, and I can definitely ask questions. So Melissa can definitely learn, she can definitely ask questions, and she can definitely think. So to me, there's no question that Melissa is intelligent. And there's also no question that she's emotionally intelligent, because Melissa, when she wants to, she can figure out how to hurt someone with her words, which to me is a sign of emotional intelligence. It's what I call the dark side of emotional intelligence, and if you want to know more about that, you can visit my site and just type in the dark side, and you'll quickly find the link that talks about why I call it the dark side of emotional intelligence. But I'll give you a little preview. Basically, it means that you can use your innate emotional intelligence to hurt people, to destroy, well, let's just say to hurt people. So you can figure out a person emotionally and you figure out how to hurt them. And that's what a lot of teenagers and other people do who come from emotionally abusive homes. They learn very quickly. And I was telling Alexandra this too, that we were talking about how Alexandra can talk back to her father, and I told her that and argue with her father, and she'll stand up for what she believes in it against her father. But I said in South America they'll just hit you if you do that in a lot of families, and Alexandra's never, I don't think, really been hit for talking back to her parents. But she did say she was hit when she did something, quote, wrong. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to Alexandra about who defines what right and wrong is. And I didn't get a chance to tell Alexandra about how I've learned that if you believe that you are that you deserve to be punished, then it's very hard to convince you that your parents are being abusive. And I'm sure Alexandra would never say that her parents are abusive in any way. So I wouldn't even try to mention that to her, because she believes she has a good relationship with her parents, and she probably has a pretty good relationship. But I also would say that Alexandra probably would not want to hit her children when she has her own children, so she would probably appreciate the tips I could give her on how to avoid getting to the level of frustration with her children to the point where she would hit them, because she would probably feel bad afterwards. So anyhow, so the main difference, the difference I wanted to talk about was that, and maybe one reason I haven't killed myself, even though I get very discouraged and frustrated and feel hopeless sometimes, is that, and feel very alone, as Melissa does, is that I've never doubted my ability to learn things. Sometimes I doubt other people's ability to learn things, and I doubt other people's intelligence, but I don't doubt mine. And also, by the way, while I'm on the topic of Melissa and feeling alone, I'll just mention that I'm thinking about doing a survey. You can write, since people love to leave comments on these kinds of videos, you can write me and leave a comment whether you think that Melissa, now she's 16 years old, and as I've said before, I really believe that she could be passing courses in pretty much any university in the world. I personally believe that she is totally capable of traveling on her own. She's mature enough, responsible enough. But anyhow, whether you personally believe that that Melissa should have, according to a more ideal world, the legal right to get her own passport and come over to Europe and meet me and travel with me for as long as she wants to, or travel with anybody else. But since I often feel alone, and Melissa often feels alone, and we just now can only talk to each other over the internet, whether you think that Melissa should have the legal right to get a passport, leave the United States, and come over to Europe, please leave your comments. Thank you.